Hey guys, this is Ben. So we're going to be taking a look at a TOEFL speaking task 1. This is a choice question. We could see that right off the bat because they're using the word prefer. Some people prefer to watch movies that are exciting and entertaining. Others prefer to watch movies that are more serious and have an important message or teach them something new. What kind of movies do you prefer and why? Use specific details and examples in your response. Okay, choice A or choice B, right? So here, I'm going with the second option, the second choice, serious and important message. So just write this in a short way, guys. Don't let it, bother you. And here I have, well, they don't make them like they used to. So, in the past, they had a lot of these kinds of films. At least in my opinion, I don't see that many of them around. And I always notice my friends complaining about this, even me myself. I haven't been really interested in a lot of movies that are out lately. All right, and then here I have values. That's my takeaway point, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Now here, I mentioned that actually, in my opinion, a lot of entertaining movies are kind of fake, okay? So just make sure you're familiar with your symbols. You don't want to accidentally say the wrong word when you read off them. And they rely on too much special effects, so that's bad as well. So now when I go into this, I have while some individuals, so this while is gonna show the opposite opinion, right? So I always start with that in the choice question. You don't have to. You could directly mention your choice, or you could set it up this way. While some individuals prefer watching films that are exciting and entertaining, I personally enjoy, and I changed the word prefer to enjoy just to mix it up a little bit, watching movies that are serious and have an important message. First off, so that's my discourse marker right there. They don't make too many films that express an important theme or message like they used to. In fact, now I don't have an example in this case. It was just easier for me to just emphasize or stress the point that I want to convey, the point that I want to make. So in fact, most films that are shown in cinemas, so paraphrase right there, these days are superhero films such as Spider-Man and Batman series. So if you can, try to have some kind of concrete example. It'll be easier for, the examiner to basically follow with what you're saying, which don't teach people true values like family bonding. If you can, just spit out some random, value right there. It'll make it more specific, more detailed. What's more, a lot of exciting and entertaining movies at the movie theaters are quite fake and superficial. Well, there we go. That's my second reason right there. Take Spider-Man and other movies, for example. So this is another way you could sometimes introduce an example. You just kind of blurt out this phrase, and then you start explaining it. They're always spamming special effects in almost every single scene and barely have any meaningful dialogue, which is awful. And then I kind of react to what I just said, okay, to add a little complexity to the grammar. So that's for the first one. Now let's look at the second example. So here I have the opposite choice just to give you guys more ideas, exciting and entertaining films, right? So for my first reason, I have basically people can take a break from the real world, and I'm kind of imagining about my situation, and this gives them some room to escape, right? And then here, I mentioned they could use their imagination, their creativity. And why is that important? Well, they'll feel happier, okay? They're gonna experience bliss, joy. Now here, like in the first example, you could have this kind of contrast effect, this contrast marker. This time I use although just to give you guys more ideas. Although some people love watching films that are more serious and have an important message, I'd rather watch movies that are exciting and entertaining. Well, there we go. Now here, I'm using first and foremost just to give you guys more ideas on discourse markers and transition words. First and foremost, I like taking a break from the real world. It's kind of like an informal, a casual way of saying, for example, it's like, or I mean. I get sick and tired, so that's kind of like an expression of thinking about real world problems and challenges like war and poverty. So there we go. I kind of mentioned what those real world problems, challenges, situations are. This is because, so here I have a reason attack. This is because they make me feel quite depressed, and I just want my mind to escape to a happy place or environment, even if it's not a real one. So here I'm just kind of emphasizing the point I want to make, that's all. Second, so introducing reason 2, nothing new here. I enjoy using my imagination. Now, when I go into my example, I could use for example, for instance, like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things I could use here. Like, whenever I watch anything fantasy related like Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings, again, try to have real life examples if you can, something concrete, something they can kind of, it kind of helps them understand, you know, your point, the point you're trying to prove. I feel like I'm in a totally different world, and that creative feeling brings joy to both my, well, I just need one of these actually. It should be brings. So brings joy to both my mind and heart. So it's a really positive feeling. There. And now you're done. If you still have a little bit of time, you could say, that's my view, and just wrap it up in the end. I hope you guys like this, and I will share more in the near future.